So Pachavattam.
Can you share the screen?
I can.
That way we both look at the same thing. You will be refreshed. Shrug it off and be fine in 5 minutes time.
Yeah, that's
sometimes we feel lazy before workout, and as you begin you feel energized and you want to do more than you imagined, so it's like that. This is Pali brain workout.
Pali brain workout. Give me a second here. Yes. Share the screen.
Yeah, I see that. You see,
that's not what I wanted to do. How can I make it large?
I can see it.
I try to see if there's a way to make it like wide. Anyway.
How about the control key and plus sign, minus?
Yeah, that's making it large on the whole. Whole thing. So let me do something slightly different. Download it and open. Now I can play it.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So Pachavatam I got from the dictionary. It's something to do with. It's basically said after the midday meal, so after lunch. I looked for Patikanda. Patikanda, the dictionary, at least the Rice Davis dictionary, the Patikanda mentioned Pindipata, Patikanda goes along with each other, returning from alms, giving or something to that effect. That's what the dictionary said. I can pull up the dictionary real quick as well. Oh, where is the dictionary? Group by type. Done. The part of Patikanda. Here we go. This is what I found. The path Patikanda, returning from the arms.
So Patikanta is added with the O ending here,
right,
to indicate the subject who did that. This is referring to the Bhagavata.
I see. The O ending is not a verb ending. O ending is the noun ending. One who has done the action.
Yes, perfect. Good catch there. But unta, the returning, the past continuous. So here unta is there, patikanta. So
what is the verb? Patikka.
Look at patikkamati.
Gone back from patikanta. Okay.
Yeah.
Turning. I see. So the O ending implies the person. It becomes a noun. The person who did the action. I see. Yes. Is that how it should be interpreted going forward?
Yes.
Okay.
because it's referring to someone doing many things, and here Patikkanto is one thing done by the Buddha.
So in that sense, what did I do wrong? After the midday, the one who, well, in this case, the one who would be Buddha and Ananda.
Yeah, already you said Bhagava. See, Atako Bhagava, that is Patikkanto. It's Bhagava who is Patikkanto, the Blessed One returning from arms round. So you have done it correct. And Bhagava Patikkanto Amantesi. All these. So Bhagava Amantesi is the only full sentence here. And all the other things are addition.
Additions, right.
Who was addressed Ayasmantang Ananda? And what time was it? Pacha Bhattang, after the midday meal. Pindapata Patikkanto. He returning from, so Patikkanto here is him, or he, the Bhagava returning from the alms round.
Okay.
And also you see Bhagava Vesaling Pindaya Pavisi. That's the full sentence. Not even Amantesi.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So there's a full stop
center.
over here. So that's a different
there's a full
sentence
stop
altogether.
there.
Yeah.
Yes. Next one sentence Vesalyam Pindaya Charitva. Again, all of this is the Bhagava. Pacchabhattam Pindapata Patikkanto. Again referring to Bhagava. Bhagava Amantesi.
In that sense, I think I might have made another mistake because, oh no, never mind. I thought I saw a bunch of oaths over here as well. Bhavita, Baholika, Yanikata, Ottukata.
Yeah.
It's a different one. Anyway.
Should be Akankamani. Probably. We'll see.
Yes, maybe. So, Ganhayananda Nisidanam. I think we did this translation the other day. I just basically redid it. Redid it as if we didn't do the translation. I just tried to do a translation by myself. Did I have any major questions or things that was confusing? Let's see.
Having sat.
Having sat. While seated, having sat. Okay. Sat. So that would be.
Again, it's an absolute.
Right. Okay.
Like Twa.
Ja and Twa. Okay.
Yeah.
What else? So this part I didn't have major problems. It's basically floating.
Sat in the prepared seat.
Next challenge was this part. Yassa kassachi kassaka farmer, something to do with tilling. So I get the literal understanding here. So it's someone who has cultivated the 4 great powers of some sort. I think that might be the idea.
This is Kassa and Chi together, not Kassaka. Kassaka is the farmer.
Right.
So Yassa, Kassa, Chi put together. So to whom, that is the English for this. To whom Ananda Chattaro Adipada Bhavita, to that the one who developed the 4 parts of power, 4 bases of power, Bahulikata improved. So you see Yassa Kassachi here is not doing anything with the farmer. So find out Kassa. Aha, you are in trouble.
Yes, 156. So maybe there's a better way. Kasaka, kasaka. Come on. Kas, kas, kasaya. Kas, kasaka.
Only
Kasaka,
find the kasaka here. That's
oh,
the husbandman, cultivator,
right.
peasant, farmer. So maybe it's found with yasa.
What are we looking for?
Yes, yasa, yasa.
Uh, yes. So
No,
too far.
you have yasa sing. So that's it. We don't have, we have only yasa and yasa sa.
Oh, come on. No, yes.
Try kasa.
Kas. No, it doesn't like. Kasa is there.
Stay
Kasa,
at
kasa.
kasa. The only thing is mm, yeah, this is where you got the idea of farming, right? So
Yes.
yasa kasa go together. Let's do a search with them alone.
Yes. That's interesting. Yes. Kas.
See, this is something I would. So how we break it down is yas and kas and then chi separately.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that way you see yas and kas alone without that chi. So we don't go looking for. It's a problem that they don't give the two terms together in any place. But we have many examples of yasa kasachi being used in the canon.
Mm-hmm. I see.
These are, this is just regular usage. So let me see one more thing. Yasa kasachi vikave bikuno ime pancha something. So, okay. Do you know where we should be looking?
I have no idea because I'm not seeing your screen. You might be looking at something.
No. One place we can be looking is the personal pronouns and their declensions. Yo, ye, yang, ye. Then you find yassa there.
Oh, I think we have a PDF, right?
We do. And I sent you the declension charts.
Working on it. Okay. Keep working. Yassa kassa. There you go. There's a kassa.
There we go.
Creative.
You see that? See, I said it's to whom. So ya is referring to one who, and yassa is its genitive or the dative, and kassa is the interrogative, the who part. Ko, kan, kena, kasma, kisma. And in making meaning, yassa, kassa go together. To whom, and then you can say bhikkave, monks. To whom monks, 5 of these have been developed. It is funny that our major dictionary ignored it. Maybe it is there in yo. It's just buried in the dictionary.
Probably, yes. Where is my... let me make some on-the-fly modifications. Go down. Go down. Oh, come on. Why are you super slow today? Are you also having a headache? Computer, I'm not happy with you right now. Come on, move. Move.
It's universal.
Today, I think it's a universal headache day for everyone, including the computer. There we go. First, I need to modify the person. What I'll leave it as it is. And I'll do that over here. Buying the person. Okay. Now, that's the kassa. What does the chi do then? So kassa is who, chi is doing what?
Good question. Gee. Gee, it doesn't come off of my mind as a particular meaningful term. I think they go in a vocal, like in a language that is being spoken as a word filler. Look at the dictionary to see if there is a chi, but it may be hard because chi is everywhere.
One who, so yassa kassa chi is more or less the person who does whatever.
Yeah. To the person, because it's dative. We found it in the dative. of the
One,
personal pronoun?
one who, Ananda,
To one who.
Ananda,
Let's see, it could be genitive too, because we didn't read the whole thing. It could be of whom this was developed, because it's both genitive. You can either say yassa tassa or yassa kassa.
Tassa becomes something else, right? Tassa is demonstrative, it seems. Tassa is one that, who, one he that, he who. I guess he who makes sense. But dative, genitive.
Well, if it is genitive, you will say of his,
Right.
of the one.
Genitive, genitive. Or I guess might make sense, right? For one who developed the powers from a dative sense, I guess.
Yeah, let's see the whole thing to see if it is telling about his qualities. Okay, so in the full read, yassa kassachi bhikkhave, yassa kassachi anand, chattaro uddipada bhavita, bahuli kata, yani kata, vattu kata, anuttita, parichita, susuma raddha.
Comma. There's a comma over here.
Okay, yeah, there is a comma. So akankamano kappangva titeya. Kappa was sesangva. So either an ian or okay.
So in English, this is basically saying someone who has developed right these skills can do this.
Yeah. So what do you think the case is there?
So I guess the most suitable one would be for someone who has developed these skills can. Makes sense from an English term point of view, I think.
That means this is dative.
Right. So for someone, he can do this.
Yeah.
For someone, for one who, so for one, is kind of implied here, so I'll put a square bracket, I guess. For one who developed the 4 paths of power, improved it, mastered it, rooted in, grounded in, Anuttita, Parichittita, Parichittita, it seems like from the dictionary, Parichitta seems to be something along the lines of making a habit, habitual, maintaining. I really couldn't get Anuttita, I think Anuttita and Parichitta. So the only reference to in the dictionary for this is basically these things all go together. Bahulikata, Bhavita, Bahulikata, Yanikata. So that didn't really help me.
But these have some interesting things that you may want to learn. It is it's intensifying.
Right.
And it's as if saying, I can't emphasize this enough.
Right.
Do it more. So if you see tita refers to standing. Anuttita is sturdifying it, making it sturdy. Parichita is going with tita. So tita parichita. So anuttita is, so there is a meaning for anu here as well. Establishing closely, like Anunayaka. Anunayaka is the one who is close to Nayaka. So establishing it firmly, tightly, but when we say closely, it doesn't have that much of a closeness with anything, but tightened it. Parichita, parichaya karanawa. So parichita here refers to letting it mature, fermenting it. Which place are you in?
I'm right. Yeah, I'm just modifying it. So I like what you just said. Not fermenting, the one before.
Parichaya
Something.
karno?
Yes, you used an English term just before you said
Maturing.
maturing it. Matured. So is staying.
Established.
So established, strongly established because of Anu.
Rightly. It's not Nanu, it's Anu. Anuttita.
Okay. Improved, mastered, rooted in, rightly established, matured,
Susuma
great.
Radha. Susama. Are you there in the Susuma Radha or the one before?
No, I'm at some. I'm looking at it.
Sumaradha.
Yes.
Yeah. Samaradha. So Aradha and Susamaradha. So Aradha, Samaradha, Susamaradha. You see the way you can break it. There is a Pali term called Aradha Virya. Aradha Virya is effort which is established again. But Susamaradha is strongly established. So you have translated it correctly as greatly enacted. That also has the meaning. Where did you get the word enacted?
From the Sinhala dictionary.
From the Sinhala dictionary. Okay.
So Pitaka said, here we go. බලවත්සේ ආරම්භ කළ මනාව පටන් ගන්නා ලද. So started. So ආරම්භ කළ started, established, I guess.
Exactly. So Aradha Virya is kind of virya that everybody has when they start something.
Right.
And but not everybody has the stamina to finish the work. Only some will bring it to the completion. So now this is greatly enacted. That way, it's a good translation. So instead of saying established,
we've already used established over here in Antita.
Yeah,
So I
right,
guess
right.
it goes along with it.
Yes.
So afterwards, so that part passed. He Akankamano.
If he wishes, Akanka Mano.
Oh, there's a if here.
Yeah, it is if it's not like sache is not there. Sache is the word for if. That's not given here. Usually I find sache akankamano if he wishes to live either an eon or half a eon.
So kappa had another meaning, Bante. Kappa in the book's dictionary said as
Life.
suitable as fit as well. So I thought that meaning also makes sense. So basically, so in the red, meaning can live till the end of the kappa. So that is the kappa vasesam, or as long as he desires, so fit, suitable.
Yeah.
So I thought that also makes sense. If we translate it that way, I thought it also kind of makes sense.
Right.
So someone who has developed these things, if he desires, so there's an implicit if. I see that there's some implicit. I also felt like there's an implicit if here. I just didn't want to add it because I don't see the if here.
Yeah.
So if he desires or likes, he can
live either and yeah. So it's too many words to say.
Right.
Again, when we say as long as he desires. But do you think this is referring to living 100 years instead of he passing away at 80? Or
I think this is basically saying if he wants, he can live as long as he wants. Basically, what that window is time from a time frame wise, I'm not sure, because kappa seems to have different dictionary. At least said kappa has different meanings. So let me pull up what I saw, so that way I can bring some context. On kappa. That's not go this route, like this route, faster route. Kappa. So here we go. Anything made with a definite object in view, prepared, blah blah blah, or that which is fit, suitable.
proper.
Fit.
Oh, that's a kapai කියන එක. That's a different meaning. Kappiyang wa akappiyang. Kappiyang wa akappiyang wa. Yeah.
Interesting.
So,
Okay, that's interesting. Makes sense.
yeah.
Kappa was sesam for the rest of the kappa. So that's directly given.
Yeah.
Kappa was sesam is given. So for the rest of the kappa, so whatever that kappa is, Buddha was living, he basically said, I could live for the next kappa, or
You know how I see it?
yes.
Now, the Buddha passed away when he was 80. Imagine the lifespan of people at that time, even now, is full span is 100 years, right? So if he wanted to live with difficulties, he could have lived that age if he wanted with difficulties. Like somebody will have to, like if his life will sustain as, but he gave up before that because he didn't have any. He had already ended the desire to live by attaining nibbana. So nibbana is, in other words, a way to end any desire for living. You see, anyone who is close to it, or anyone who has attained it, may have ended all desires for living. So he ended it instead of living 100 years. But then that argument doesn't work very well with half the yen. Maybe the remaining 20 years, maybe 10 more, like he will be 90 when he passes away.
What is a kalpa? Kalpa is, I thought, not 100, it's more than that. Is it just 100?
No, I mean, kalpa has many meanings, right? Kalpa means many hundreds of years.
Yeah,
Kalpa,
right.
right? But Ayukalpa is another meaning.
I see.
Ayukalpa is the lifespan at that time. Right now, it will be 80 Ayukalpa.
Oh, so we don't know what the Ayukalpa is, I guess, at that time. What is the nominal year people die?
At that time was 100.
Oh, really? So people used to live 100 years.
Yeah. Exceptional cases was like Bakula's story. He became a monk when he was 60, and he lived 60 years as a monk.
So 120 years. I see.
I was reading
But I
about
don't remember, so correct me if I'm wrong. So Buddha only lived 84 years. Sariyutta and Mugaram, both of them has already passed away at that point, right? So they didn't live even that long. They were younger than Buddha, if I remember right.
Right.
So my point is, I don't remember. So you just mentioned Bakula, right? Bakula, he lived 420 years, but it looks like most of the Arahant didn't necessarily live anything close to 100.
You're right. That's why we cannot conclude that 100 years at that time was the designated
This designated age, right? which makes things a little bit more confusing now, because at the time Buddha was already 84 years, right? This is 3 months before.
80.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
so he was already in his 80s.
Yeah.
So is he saying I can live? I guess the question is he saying I can live the rest of this kalpa in the sense of a longer period kalpa, or okay, again, maybe kalpa is basically referring to 100 years.
Yeah, because we try to think in terms of what we can understand as
Right.
scientifically, having some base. Without, baseless stuff, we don't agree with. But this is a vague term, we don't, like how could a physical body maybe being that powerful? I read about Mahakashyap's story today, and I gave a bana this morning at Dana time, and he had psychic abilities, and he made the determination that his body remained until the Mettaya Buddha's time, and the three rocks under which he is buried will open up, and his body will be picked by the next Buddha Maitreya, and it will burn in one of his hands, I think on the right hand side. And
So
how
for that to happen, that tree has to last a long time.
and those flowers that has been offered to him, and the pahan that has been offered to him, all has to remain unwithered and lit. The pahan dalvila තියෙනවා mal පරවෙන්නේ නැතුව තියෙනවා. So that was his determination. And also it says that because he practiced austerities like dutangas. You know what dutangas mean? So
I think so.
Dutanga is 13 austeric practices that a monk can take if he wishes. So living forever in the forest. So as long as you have taken the vow, you live in the forest and you survive with the ball only. You live in a monastery that is only offered to you, not anywhere else, or you live in the open. There are 13. Take a note. I will send the list to you. But this monk happened to do it. Mahakashyapa happened to do it because one day he and Buddha looks similar. They look resemble. They, by complexion and by appearance, only Mahakashyapa was very short, little shorter than the Buddha, but appearance-wise, he looked similar to the Buddha. So one day when the Buddha went first on the Pindapata, and this lady offered some food, and then Mahakashyapa came. Her intention was to offer it to Mahakashyapa. So she ran back and took the whole thing that she offered to Buddha, and brought it to Mahakashyapa. So he he felt uncomfortable. He said this puts the Buddha in an uncomfortable place. So he decided to go live in the forest. And he's said to have had at least 7 uh, features of a great man, Mahapurusha Lakshana. So that way people easily confused Buddha, Mahakashyapa for Buddhahamduru. And then he made a determination when the Buddha was close to attaining parinirvana that the flowers of the tree in front of where he was living, all the flowers should fall from the tree. And he saw that happening. Then he knew that the Buddha had passed away. Now I'm telling these things because how much mental power these monks have developed over the, they could do such things. And Malla Rajadaruan, they were trying to cremate the Buddha, but it didn't burn until Mahakashyapa came, because the Buddha made that kind of a determination. So you see, all I'm saying here is if you had the mental capacity that like the way Mahakashyapa did, living a full eon until another Buddha shows up and do something, or maybe even beyond another Buddha, it will be something amazing that the Buddha may have done. But I don't know, like how he could, how he could like. It's Adhisthana power, like those rocks somewhere in Myanmar, the golden rock. They say it's not falling because a determination made by an arahant.
Right. I would argue a Buddha would never make a determination to last until the next Buddha shows up, because that kind of defeats the whole purpose of having a Buddha in the first place. Isn't it? Because I mean, it's like, okay, I'm just going to wait
You're
for
right.
my successor to show up. So, I mean, if everything rises and falls, if everything that becomes goes away, so is Buddhism. Has to be the same, right? Same cycle. So Buddhism in one Buddha's time will climb up, go down, everything will dissolve, again climb up and go down, right?
Yeah,
So I was talking with
you're
my
right.
wife yesterday night about this, and we were like, okay, if everyone, so we were talking about completely something different, but we were talking among ourselves. So if everyone at the Buddha's time became Buddhists and everyone became Rahatans, no one would exist by now, by theory, because everyone has
Yeah,
attained Nibbana.
yeah,
There's no
yeah,
continuation of life. So be it.
yeah,
So everything is, I mean, that would be the ultimate goal of Buddhism, right? So nothing exists, but that's not the
yeah,
case.
yeah. Except these animals and hundreds, millions of animals.
But
It,
even animals, Bante. So the argument about animals is also, it's some being at some lifetime. It could be a human that in
yeah,
one lifetime made some bad choice and
yeah,
becomes an animal in an animal realm, right? That's the way
yeah,
the Buddhist cosmology explains the animal realm.
yeah,
Oh, all of these things. I don't know about trees, because Buddha, it appears Buddha intentionally left trees to be inanimate, right? He didn't go to that extreme, like
yeah, yeah.
Nigantanatha Buddha.
He wanted to prevent harm, but also left them as, you know, not in the
Unconscious
level of
beings,
being.
right?
Yeah, yeah,
Right. But in Nigantanatha Buddha's version of Buddhism, well, not Buddhism, his version of whatever religion he was preaching,
yeah,
Jainism, I guess,
yeah.
even trees are conscious beings. Uh,
Yes.
so my point is, uh, again, I go back to the argument. I was talking to my wife, so she came in last night when I was doing the translation. She was asking me, what are you translating? And I told the story. And I was just telling her, some of these things doesn't make any sense, because why a Buddha in the first place? I still have that argument. I'm still making the same argument. I don't buy, again, it's my opinion, but I don't buy why Buddha needs Sahampati's invitation to preach, first of all. That doesn't make sense in one sense, but I can see it, how you could justify it. That
In the
was
social
maybe,
context. Yeah.
say it again?
In the social context.
Right, exactly. So to spread, so someone came up with that story to make it more appealable to Brahman people at that time. So okay, I can understand that part. I'm still struggling to figure out why Buddha wanted to give the question to Ananda, who was not even an arahant at that point. Maybe he was too busy at the time thinking about how to set up the next seat or wherever they go, or make that arrangements. So why would someone like Buddha ask Ananda the question? Why
Yeah.
didn't he ask someone more? I mean, who is the most brightest one? Saryut?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, as
I
someone who
think
is,
I think they had passed away at the time.
oh, really? I see. I mean, he could have certainly asked it from someone who is, to me, it's sort of like a trick question, right? If Buddha knows Ananda is already not Arahant, and his mind is occupied by something he already has a preoccupied mind, asking him a very grave question, and ultimately everyone blaming Ananda for not answering it is, I think, in one part unfair on Ananda.
Yeah.
And I mean, isn't it? It's I mean, I remember as a child, we were blaming Ananda. Oh, Ananda, he could have simply
He
said,
could have.
just stay, and the Buddha would have lasted. But that's also wrong. Because why would we want to blame Ananda for it?
And now you are reading the actual place where this conversation happens, and you are
Right.
like, okay, it's the fault of the Buddha himself.
I don't think it's the fault of the Buddha. I think whoever the storyteller is, whoever the people who, that's where I fault them. Because these are made up stuff, I think. Some of this stuff is made up. There could be some social context or some reason for it, but I think it defeats the whole purpose. In the current context, or for someone like me who is reading it, certainly I don't buy some of these Surangana Katha. I don't
Yeah.
need the Surangana Katha. I really,
If we go to the commentary, maybe we will find something
okay.
interesting. So
Even
we'll
then, a
have,
commentary would be someone's opinion also, right? I mean, it's someone like
yeah.
me. So I'm right now kind of making my own commentary.
You know, this is the thing, like in the past, the Buddhas have lived 80,000 years. Can you believe
Some
it?
other Buddhas, right?
Some other Buddhas. And that alone sort of defeats the purpose. And those days, they don't teach until they don't teach until they come to like something thousand years.
So,
And
but I wonder, Bante, in the case of a Buddha who's living 80,000 years, I wonder if the nominal lifetime at that time, at that period of a being is 80,000 years. So
mm-hmm.
it's still 80,000 and it's some fraction. It's the same fraction, right? 84, 80,000, something to do with
Yeah.
8 all the time.
Yeah.
So I wonder maybe the 80,000 number is
It's a figurative
implicative
number.
of 80% of the lifespan or something.
It's a figurative number.
Right, figurative number. Yes, that's the term I was looking for. So so relative to that time, 80,000 might have been a nominal value. It's not a big number.
Yeah.
So so it
At
might not
that
necessarily be
time,
a. Say it again.
at that time, a Buddha who lived at 80,000 has an attendant like Ananda saying, "Oh, Ananda, I could have lived a eon."
Right,
That
right, right,
wouldn't
right,
make
right,
any sense.
right, right. Instead of Kalpa, he's saying something even greater because in that context, comparatively, that's the larger figurative
And
value.
Ananda will be like, he will run away.
Right, right. But
Don't do.
is the story so? Does the stories also replicate like that, duplicate like that? I mean, was
in
there a
in other Buddha's times?
yes?
I don't think so.
Oh,
You know, sometimes this, like you said, I don't disagree with it, that somebody wants to exaggerately say things because they want to say that Buddha could have done it. But they ascribed it to Ananda because they are limited in their Buddha nature. You know, they can put, even later, like when in the third council, they blamed Ananda. One of the things they blamed Ananda of was this thing, and another was stepping on one of the robes of the Buddha as he was stitching it. So, so they were like, and giving muddy water to Buddha another time.
I
I
see.
mean, not giving muddy water, but not bringing water when he asked for water 3 times. Like when you read Mahaparinibbana Sutra, you find
Oh, really? So there's this instance where Buddha was asking for water and
yeah.
Ananda somehow didn't catch that.
He it's not that he did catch it, but he went to get the water, but it was muddied. The second time it was still muddied because about 500 cattle was moving through that water. And the third time, Buddha insisted, go back. And miraculously, water was blue with the power of the Buddha, and Ananda fetched that water to the Buddha. The Buddha was very thirsty.
Right. I like to see Buddha as another human more than anything else, not as some sort of a god.
visual something, right?
Right.
But later to compete with God concept, because people started saying gods live forever.
Right. So Buddha
Maybe
could have lived forever, or blah blah
yeah,
blah, making an
yeah,
so
yeah.
yeah.
So kappa here refers to forever, perhaps.
So it's so you don't agree with as so like as much as he likes from the sense of kappa, from the suitable fit sense of view.
Oh, it's definitely not suitable.
Okay.
The meaning is not it's kappa. Kapyang akapyang refers to, it's not that kappa.
Okay.
Uh,
Akang
Ian, the
kamano
meaning.
kapang. So akang kamano kapang. So akang kamano kapang. If he desires, okay, if he desires a kalpa, or now I'm again
So remove,
disturbed.
keep soa kankamano together and then separate the rest, saying
So kapang
kappam va
wa,
titteya kappava sesam. Kappava sesam va. So titteya goes with kappam.
right.
Staying an eon or half a eon.
Where are you getting the half a year? Kappa was,
Kappa avasesam.
I see.
Not half, actually, for the remainder. Sorry, remainder, right?
Remainder of the
Yeah,
kappa.
avasesa is remainder.
What is the difference in the grand scheme of things? Let's say kappa is 1,000 years. The grand scheme of things, Buddha at that time already has lived 84 years. But if kappa is a really large number, what
Buddha
is
lived
this? Is
only 80.
basically, this is kind of comparing infinity versus infinity minus 3. It's basically the infinity. It's kappa still.
Yeah.
So rest of the kappa versus kappa also doesn't make much sense to me. You see what I mean? So if I desires, I can leave the rest of the kappa, meaning whatever that kappa is, let's say it's 1,000 years, 1,000 minus 84, or kappa. Okay, it's basically kappa. I mean, what's the big difference? What's the big hahu about it? It's kappa ultimately.
Right.
So I'm not really sure if I can. I mean, I guess we cannot change it. That's what Tipitaka says. So I guess we will have to go with it. uh, but that also is not a satisfactory translation, in my opinion.
So that makes it clear that it's not something said by the Buddha.
Right. Yes.
But we are reading the Tripitaka here.
Right. So I do agree. We cannot change the Tripitaka, so we just have to, I guess, using the resources we have, just translate it, get the gist of the idea, and move on, I guess.
Yeah.
So that's why I thought the one I put in the red, I thought maybe what the author or whoever the storyteller is trying to say is Buddha can either live as long as he wishes or likes.
Yeah.
What that time period or time span, it's undeterminate at that point. He can live as long as he likes because he already has these powers.
Yeah.
Or he can give a figure to it and say, I'm going to live another, the rest of this kalpa.
Yeah.
So to me, I felt like rest of the kalpa is a longer time period versus, at least implicatively, as long as he desires versus the rest of the life. So
Yeah.
I can live another 5 years, so the rest of the 21st century, something like that. I don't know.
But again, that, like you said, it doesn't make any sense, right?
Right.
In either way, whether it was 100 years, or if he said an extra kappa, that would mean another 80 years,
Right.
or another of whatever he intends in that time frame. So I would want to check kappa avasesam.
Kalpa is 4.32 billion years in the Hinduism.
Right.
Oh dear. Who wants to live
But
that long?
like he defeated he refuted the Brahmin concept.
Right.
Like this could be because of Hindus using it.
Right. So it's socializing, right? It's within the
Yeah,
social
social.
context, right?
Yeah.
This is
Kappa
selling
was
Buddhism. This is
yeah,
basically selling Buddhism. Here,
right.
Kappa Sesam is available, Bante. It's on page 211. So Kappa Sesam. Rest of the Kappa.
Yeah.
Kappa. Kappamva, Kappava Sesamva. So it's basically giving the same reference. So that's not necessarily all that helpful either.
Yeah, I looked at the wisdom library. That doesn't help.
You like that wisdom library. Who is that person? Jeff someone.
Mr. Jeffs. There are examples of it. There is one in Melinda too. Temporary disabled. So Udana.
Um,
You have kappa in Buddhist terms. Else, still all I have found is a longer period of time.
right.
What is called kambha? Buddha says kappeji satasahase chaturochas asanke. Cannot be calculated by the number of years. It is known only by inference. Suppose there is a big granary which is so one mahakappa is made up of 4 asankhya. So I'm reading. Let me share the screen here if you are interested. Oops, I shared this again. New share. No, I was reading this. Okay, there we go. You see how many kappa variants we have? We have these Mahakappa, Asankheya Kappa, Antara Kappa, Ayu Kappa, Hayana Kappa, and Vardhana Kappa. So Mahakappa is made up of 4 Asankheya Kappas, namely the Kappa in the process of dissolution, the Kappa in the state of dissolution, again in the process of evolution, in the state of evolution. This is to say, these 4 Asankheya Kappas called Samvata Asankheya Kappa. So that's all the kappa stories.
What is the unit value of kappa, I guess?
It says, so if you look at the unit value here, this is what we again.
Yeah, that's suitable fit. Okay, that's coming from the same dictionary we were reading a few minutes ago.
Yeah, he has stolen it from there because, oh yeah, not really stolen. He gives us also.
Marathi terms kappa is what?
Oh.
No, it's going Greek kappa.
Greek kappa. Greek also has one. I would say kalpa.
Yeah.
It's a complete cosmic cycle. It's a long time. From the origination to the destruction of a world system. Oh my God, if we lived that much.
That's a lot of suffering.
Yeah, exactly. But in what form could he exist?
Right.
But you know, the things he has said are really strange things that just because we humans don't understand them doesn't mean they are not true. So back to your sharing. Did you want to take a break?
No, I'm good. We only had what? I mean, sorry. I shouldn't say that. Maybe you like to take a break. So
No, that's okay. That's okay. We can go on.
we can take a break. We can take a maybe 10-15 minute break and come back, which is fine with me. Perfectly
Okay,
fine with me.
take a 10 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll see you in 10 minutes then.
Yeah, not a cuppa. Okay.
Not a kappa. Now. Okay.
So we settle on cuppa.
Yeah, let's just move on. Otherwise, we'll be arguing about the kappa for the next cup.
Yes. And then there's a bunch of oh no, that's over. And said it says Bodhipada have been developed and therefore he could live.
Right. However, when Palananda, because he was absent-minded at the time, I guess, because we are blaming
Yeah.
him, didn't get it.
Olarike Obhase Kairamani. So Obhasa refers to the light.
Obasa, yes, Obasa refers to the light. I saw that in the dictionary as well. However, I thought Obasa, Basika, Obasa, I thought something to do with wording as well.
Okay.
I might be wrong. I mean,
You see.
good chance I'm wrong. Obasa.
No, you get it very, very well. And
Obasa, shine, splendor, light, blah, blah, blah. Obasati, to shine, illuminate, splendor. But I thought, there we go, there's the second meaning. To speak. But it says to speak to inopportunately.
Yeah, because it's our Basati.
Our?
You see, our plus Basati becomes O Basati.
I see. Ah. Okay, how are we going to combine light with shining?
It's in the locative.
Enlightening word, I guess. Some sort of an enlightening word.
It doesn't sound that well. With enlightenment, evampi the Bhagavata olarike nimitte kairamani olarike obhase kairamani. This is out of space, so it's bhasa, our bhasa. Inappropriate,
first.
It's already Olarika is inappropriate. Olarika is already worldly. So, Olarike splendor. Not so great splendor. He was attending to things that are not so great. So I think Obasa here is not so important stuff, not so luminous stuff.
But this is referring to Bhagavata of the Blessed One. So the Bhagavata Olarike Nimitte Kairama.
No. Anando evampiko ayasma anando Olarike nimitte kairamani. Olarike obase kairamani. He could nasakhi pativijjuting. He could not penetrate it. So,
right. So Ayasma Anando Nasaki Pativichutum, he didn't recognize. He definitely didn't recognize. What he definitely didn't recognize is Bhagavata of the Blessed One, Olarike Nimitte. I'm not sure about Kairamani. The way I thought it is Venerable Ananda didn't recognize the hint. At first, I thought maybe a subtle hint. It's not a profound hint, but Olarike seems to be some indicating, illuminating, like something great, something.
Did you look at the word Olarika?
I did. I think I did.
K-A.
Ample.
See, it's gross stuff.
Gross here, I think, might be like bulk, coarse, material, ample. So the idea I got is, while saying other stuff, Buddha also said this. So probably, if we believe the story, when Bhagananda was thinking, wait a minute, he's talking about that Chaitya is beautiful, this Chaitya is beautiful. All of a sudden now he's talking about Mahavira, I mean, the powers. He might have already been confused at that point. So my point is, Buddha is saying this while talking about not directly related stuff. So it was almost as a hint. Hinting.
Yeah. But Ulara is great.
Ular. Great, eminent, excellent, superb, lofty. Oh, okay.
Probably you were looking at that.
Ular. I was strictly looking at Olarika.
Olarika. Let me see. Amper. The opposite is Sukhuma. You see the opposite word in the center? Sukhuma is subtle.
Sukhuma. What is
So the Buddha was talking Sukhuma stuff, subtle stuff, but Ananda was thinking Olarika stuff.
I see. Okay. Valid argument.
And how do we grammatically look at it? I mean, you are saying this is something the Buddha said. So Bhagavata here, so let's look at the declension of Bhagavata. Do you have the declension? I see it as from the blessed.
Bhagavata instrumental, Bhagavata ablative.
You have it?
Yes, I don't know if you
Okay.
can see it. I'm looking at the green book, page 27.
So you said it's either instrumental or ablative, right?
I'm looking at, well, maybe I'm looking at the wrong place. I was looking at Gunavatu, Bhagavatu, along
Yeah,
those
yeah.
lines. Is that the correct place?
Um,
Yeah, Bhagavantu, the accelerated one. It's listed under here. Similarly declined. Bhagavantu. Gunavata,
you
instrumental.
see the exact Bhagavata form in instrumental?
Yes. So
Okay, so that's a place.
Gunavantu and Bhagavantu are declined in the same way. If that's the case, Bhagavata is instrumental or ablative.
Yeah.
Which one would that be then? Instrumental by which? I don't think so. It has to be then ablative. From. So off is wrong. From. Koyasmanando.
Evampiko ayasma anando bhagavata olarike nimitte kairamane olarike obhase kairamane nasakhi pativijjitum. So who was not able? That was Ananda not able. Na bhagavantang yachi. Tittatu bante bhagava kappam. So Bhagavata here seems like a, it's because it is there, you would think that it's the Bhagavata who is doing all RK stuff, but not. It's usually Ananda here. But if you look at if you want to involve Bhagavata in a sentence, we have to find a verb. Evampiko ayasma anando, and you skip Bhagavata and go on. Evampiko ayasma Evampi Bhagavata Bhasiyamani. Even when, so that's the full sentence. Even when the Blessed One was speaking like this, Ayasma Anando Olarike Nimitte Kairamani. Because he was thinking of lower stuff, and Olarike Obhase Kairamani, unpenetrable stuff, he couldn't penetrate it. So that's how I see it.
Okay.
So there you need to bring up a verb that is not seen here in the sentence. And to be sure, we can also go to the translation of it. Now you are fast.
But Venerable Anand, despite such a gross hint being made by the gracious one, such a gross suggestion being made, was unable to penetrate it, and did not beg the gracious one to stay.
So he's using Anand Bhagavata. We need to look at another translation.
Okay. Let's try Googling for that.
We didn't have an alternative at Sutta Central?
No, unfortunately not. I think we only have one English translation. Anand Jyoti. Bunch of other stuff, but not what we need. This is from. That's not really.
This is the only one then.
Done.
It's not Udana Sutta, right? It's Udana Pali.
I'm just giving something for
Okay.
Google to work on. Make Google work.
Yeah.
Might be close. Oh, what am I looking at? This is 6. Bug. Here we go. Where does this go? Tanista Robiku. Okay, here's the alternative.
Yeah, there we go.
Anyone Ananda, okay, but the Venerable Ananda, even when the Blessed One had given such a blatant hint, oh, I like that word, blatant, such a blatant hint, no, blatant sign, blatant hint, wasn't able to understand his meaning. So he's also going with Bhagavata Olarike.
Okay. So now with true translations, okay. So it says this version of the text must be out of date. Please click here for more information. Can you click that too?
You are saying something I'm not seeing. This
on the top.
Please click here. Okay.
What is it saying?
Nice. Okay. All right. Suttas. No, we don't need any random suttas. We have enough things to read.
I think we got enough. So
let's find 6. Oh, he updated the web page. Nice. Maybe. Okay, here we go. But Venerable Ananda, even when the Blessed One had given such a blatant sign, so it basically updated the website, nothing really, maybe better rendering, better interesting options. Maybe.
So he's saying even when the Blessed One has.
Oh, what happened? What did I do? Oh, back. Okay.
Even.
He added even.
Yeah. Right. He added even.
Kubiyoti? No, Bhikkhu Tanisoro.
Bodhi hasn't gone there yet. So.
Yes. Well, oh really?
He doesn't have Udana Pali.
I see.
Because he thinks that others have those.
Done it. Okay.
Yeah. Can you highlight the part that we are?
Yes. Okay. Sorry.
Okay. Here, this one. No, I can see it. But Venerable Ananda, even when the Blessed One had given Bhagavata, so what is the case they are using here? That is my question. When they say Blessed One had given such a, even had given doesn't work. Such a blatant sign.
Right. So this is not literal translation. This is interpretive translation.
Yes.
So it's the other version, I guess.
Ananda Jyotis.
Anand Joshi's one. We can perhaps look at a singular one to see how that goes.
Oh yeah, that's a great idea. Okay, so if you go to pitaka.lk, Ayusankaro Sajjana, you type that.
That's helpful. Okay.
Same
No
thing.
one likes to translate that one.
What
Okay.
is it? Which one? Peter Edasarjit Chapala Vagga.
Yeah, so yeah, what is this link going? Yeah, no.
No.
About
Okay, so Anguttara Nikaya Attaka Nipata. We can find it there.
but we're looking for a translation, right?
Yeah, still these guys have it. Pitaka dot.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Give
What
me a
is this
second.
place?
I'll also look at this place. Yattanda Vago. We're probably not gonna find much, but let's see. Okay. Translate.
Yeah, there we go. Good. Yeah, this is where we wanted to go.
Blah blah blah. Anandil Tathagato they say හැකිය. Okay, good.
Good
මෙසේත්
hours.
භාගතුන් වහන්සේ වූ මෙසේත් භාග්‍යවතුන් වහන්සේ විසින් දැඩි වූ සංඥා ඉපදවීම කරන කල්හි ඕදාරික that's cheating. ඕදාරික අවවාසය complete cheating. That doesn't help anyone. Absolutely no one. So now we have to look for ඕදාරික අවවාසය. What is ඕදාරික අවවාසය? That's not a translation. So either way, although I think it's still implying the same thing the two English terms were explaining. මෙසේත් භාගතුන් වහන්සේ විසින් දැඩි වූ සන්නා ඉපදීම කරන ලබන කල්හි. So the භාගතුන් වහන්සේ is the one who is making the hints. ආනන්දේනෝ එය දැනගන්නට නොහැකි වූ. So strictly in the sentence, ආනන්දේනෝ only thing the ආනන්දේනෝ is doing is not recognizing it.
Yeah. Should I settle for that? But I need to see Pali again before
Yes,
I settle
please.
for that.
Do you want to look at the Sinhala one here, or do you want me to jump back to the English version?
Oh yeah, there we go. We have the Pali there, right? So
That would be Evampi
Akamkamano
Evampi Asmano. I increase the size.
Bhagavata Olarike Nimitte Kairamani Olarike Obase Kairamani Evampiko Asma Anando Nasake Pativijatum. He Anando not able to penetrate it. Bhagavata Olarike Nimitte Kairamani Olarike Obase Kairamani. I think now I agree with that. So the argument I was arguing whether the Buddha would do such a thing, right? That's like usually Olarika things are attributed to not to the Buddha.
Olarika is a negative term, the way you are doing it. But Olarika also can mean, according to this, Olarika can also mean
super things.
Yeah, ample. Ample meaning like something in mass,
bigger,
some large amount. So I'm not sure. It seems like Olara by itself. BB. What is BB?
Bhikkhu Bodhi.
Okay.
Maybe something different.
BB.
It must be in the beginning of the dictionary. Yeah. Maybe it's the title of books.
Burmese MSS. Okay.
Oh, Burmese manuscripts. Oh, not Bhikkhu Bodhi.
Nope.
It's my.
It wouldn't exist at the time, right? This is.
Oh yeah. I tend to use BB for Bhikkhu Bodhi because I saw somebody else is using it. But it's simple BB. One B. Yeah. But and the Buddha was telling mountains are great. So great mountains exist. Maybe having seen them, the Buddha was like, oh, I can live as long as these mountains exist. Buddha never goes into gross stuff, material stuff.
Right. I agree. Why is he hinting?
Yeah.
So make matters worse. Ananda is already preoccupied is something. He's thinking about something, and Buddha is not talking straight. He's hinting. What are we doing? What is the whole purpose? Some of these things. This is more I read the Tripitaka, more I feel like there's too much exaggeration. Maybe there was a good intention, but then again, intellectually, some of these things don't really make much sense.
You know, this is how I can put it. While the narrator is trying to show the ability of the Buddha, he also shows an inability of the Buddha. That he's not able
not Buddha's inability, his inability.
That's his inability, that he couldn't catch how people
of the
will
idea, right.
probably, yeah.
But ultimately, this is something that happens privately between Ananda and Buddha, right?
Buddha,
So
yeah.
someone else is either through hearing, or I don't know, who did he hear it from? Did he hear it from Buddha himself, or did he hear it from Ananda later, maybe regretting what happened? How did someone, whoever that heard it, how did he hear it? There's this third person.
Exactly.
So this whole story could be a big made-up story to begin with. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you see my point? I mean, there's only two people in the story who heard it.
Yeah.
So if Buddha is
it
giving
should
a
be
praise,
Ananda, because Buddha didn't live to tell the story anyway.
right? It has to be, right? So confession. This is a confession.
Yeah.
Ananda is later confessing to another monk, saying, "You know what? Buddha asked me. I was preoccupied. I didn't give the right answer."
Yeah, because he was accused in the first council and he had to confess in front of 500 arahants, and that report exists. If you read Samantapasadika, and if you read Vinaya also, you find the stories of the establishment of the first council there. Reading these will perhaps answer, not that I remember them, but I do remember reading them somewhere.
I see.
About the story of the first council.
This is an interesting website. It's like they have a scanned copy.
Yeah.
Nice.
And the useless translation.
Okay, anyway. So what are we settling with now?
We are done with this.
Okay.
Bhagavata Olarike Nimitte Kairamani, Olarike Obase Kairamani, Nasakti Pativijitu. Okay, I will buy that. Nag Bhagavantang Yachi. Tittatu Bante Bhagava Kappang, Tittatu Sugato Kappang. Bahujana Hit.
See if it must be changed now, right? Because Kappam is Eon.
Yeah.
Bhagava Kappa. Okay. Tittatu Bante. Tittatu, may you stay. Yes, sir. Bhagava Kappe.
Tittatu Bhagava. Tittatu, Blessed One. Kappang.
Bante?
Yeah.
There's also a Bante. Tittatu Bante Bhagava Kappa.
Bante Bhagava Kappang, right. You see Bante and Bhagava put together in the same place.
Right.
A rare occurrence, but
so
again,
this is something, the Kappa is what? Bhagava's Kappa?
No. Bante Bhagava goes together. Yeah, your thinking is good here. It could mean Bhagava Kappa, but it's not. Tittatu Bante Bhagava Bhante Bhagavata, Blessed Venerable Sir, Tittatu Kappang, stay an ear.
Sukato Kappam. May the fortunate one stay Kappam. Bahujana Hitaya, Bahujana Sukaya. I don't know. I think I'm pretty sure I've heard that one in some other sutta. Bahujana Hitaya, Bahujana Sukaya. Yeah, have I heard it?
Hitaya, for the benefit of many people, for the happiness of many people. That's right. Lokanukampaya, for the anukampa, compassion.
Anukampa,
The
compassion.
compassion.
Attaya, I
for the
didn't
meaning. Arthaya, for the meaning of them.
get the meaning. Hitaya for the welfare, Sukaya for the happiness, Deva Manusana. So for the meaning, welfare and happiness of deities and humans.
Yeah.
Yata tang marena pariyutichitto. Like someone who is possessed with mare,
Mm-hmm.
Mara's mind.
Yeah.
So he's basically preoccupied. He's not thinking straight, or he's maybe thinking about something else.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the meaning I'm getting. It's not like some Maria or someone coming into his mind here. Maria here is his own thoughts, I guess.
Yeah. I
Preoccupied
totally
thoughts.
agree with you there. It's not a different Maria coming. It's just he succumbed into that Mara world.
Right. He's not thinking straight. Right. He's not
He's
mindful.
not thinking straight.
I'm guessing he's probably thinking about something like seating arrangement or something. I mean, he probably has other duties to think about. So he's thinking about something else. Buddha starts talking about how beautiful how beautiful this and how beautiful that, and
He's still there.
right, he's probably still thinking about how beautiful the chaitya is, and all of a sudden Buddha is talking about
But the thing is, yeah, right.
like a con job here. I mean, Buddha is tricking Ananda into not giving an answer. I don't
And
know.
again, the Buddha tells it's intensifying, right? The second
Second
time, maybe
time,
third
third
time.
time, right? So I guess he was trying to repeat it. I don't know. I just like Sahampati's story. This is another story. I'm like,
You want me to buy it, right? Kind of a
right,
story.
you right, exactly. If I have to buy it, I'll buy it, but I'm not really buying it.
Thank you for trying, right?
Right. I mean, doesn't help me, Bante, or at least the way I look at it. It doesn't really. This story, especially, I feel like the one we are reading right now. Maybe there's some other things later on that I think is more valuable from a intellectual understanding perspective. But so far, it hasn't given anything to retain except for a story where once upon a time Buddha asked Ananda whether I should stay or not. Ananda didn't answer yes. So maybe there's something else in the story. Maybe I'll later come to it and realize what the actual. And this is categorized under an Udana Pali, which is also kind of strange. I thought Udana Pali is where Buddha is rejoicing whatever his accomplishments.
Yeah,
So,
Buddha or Arahants, but you see, it's not very much organized that way. There are things. There could be an Udana at the end.
right,
See,
right.
because this is the Udana. Atako Bhagava etamattang viditva tayang velayang imang udanang udanesi. Tulamatulancha sambhavang bhavasankara mavasaji muni ajjata ajjatarato samahito abhindi kavachami vatta sambhavanti. So that's the Udana he said.
Matu lunch. Tula matulancha. Balancing something? Sambhavam?
Tula atulancha sambhavam. Tula is balanced, atula is not balanced. Sambhavam. This could sambhava refer. We need to read the context to know what it is.
Right.
Sambhava could mean anything, like a birth or origin.
Bhavasankara Bhavasaji Muni. Bhavasankara Bhavasaji Muni. Ajattara Ajattara Ajattarato Samahito Abhindi Kauchami Vatta Sambhavanti. It's a translation job altogether. A lot of unknown words.
Kavachang ivatta sambhavanti. Abhindi kavacha. Kavacha could refer to the body. Just do a quick
Why
search.
torture ourselves? Let's just cheat. Everyone seems to be cheating. Let's just go straight down. Comparing the incomparable with coming into being, the sage relinquished the fabrication of becoming. Inwardly joyful, centered, he split his own. Oh my God.
Coming into being like a coat of mail. That's like a coat of mail. Okay, so click on that question mark there.
7.
Oh, 7, not a question. The image of splitting a coat of mail with an arrow. What is a coat of mail?
Me. Target practice. Oh wow. Chain mail. Oh, so basically something like I penetrated something that's hard to penetrate.
I still don't get the whole
So this is, he split his own coming into being like a coat of mail.
You still have the Sinhala opened? Yeah.
I think I do. Is that?
They are still cheating also there.
එකල්හි භාගතුන් වහන්සේ මේ කරුණා සලකා එකල්හි මෙසේ යොදන් ඇනුසේක. පුනර්භවය සකස් කරන භවෝත්පත්තියට කාරණා වූ කාමාචර ඕඩිය. There is nothing about කාමාචර අරූප, I don't know.
See, කෙලෙස් නැමැති කවචය බෝ මුලදීම හල භව සංස්කාර ඇත්තේ සමාපatti බලයෙන් රැඳ වූ අත්බව මෙයින් මතු එයට නොසමවදිමි. They better not translate anything.
Yeah, interpretation.
And do we have the other, what was Ananda Jyoti?
We had a third version. We had this translation from Ananda Jyoti. See what he says. Measurable and immeasurable continuity and the continuation process the sage relinquished. Okay. Content in himself and concentrated.
Samahito.
He broke continuity of self like a coat of mail. Broke continuity like a coat of mail.
So he broke the continuity of self, okay, like a coat of mail. Coat of mail. So I don't get that image.
For a while I was thinking, okay, this is a really hard thing to penetrate. So Buddha did something profound by breaking through it. But I see what you mean too. So broke continuation of self like a coat of mail doesn't make much sense either.
Coat of mail.
Now I'm thinking, okay, let me. So if I ignore the coat of mail, the udana here is he's rejoicing in the fact that he broke the selfness. How is that related to the story? Maybe again there could be other things that's explained here beyond Ananda's mistake. That's more relevant, I guess. So I'll have to read more, translate more, get there first.
I'm glad
Okay.
you are working on this, but so kavacha is a word like an armor, you know that.
Kavacha.
Yeah,
Look up
yeah.
Kavacha.
Kavacha is this coat of mail thing.
Male coat of thing. Yes, yes, you're right. You're
Yeah,
probably looking at something, I guess.
I'm not. I just remember,
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Where does Kavacha appear in the Pali version?
okay, so that's there. You see kavachang,
Kavachang Ivatta Ambavang.
sambhavang. So abhindi kavachang.
Bindi. Bindi. So Bindi
Kavachang iva.
breaking.
Okay, atta sambhavang, that makes self originate, self to be born. Atta sambhavang kavachang iva, like a coat.
I see. Kavachang Iva Atta
Atta
Sambhavang.
sambhavang abhindi. He broke it.
I see.
But meaning, when we have that self protection thing, people cannot kill you.
Mm-hmm.
But because he removed it, the self is killed now. That there is no need further protection to be should be given to the self. That self, there is no longer a self to protect. Kavachang iva atta sambhavang abhindi.
Okay. Fair enough.
It's a good catch though. I mean, but then tula matulancha sambhavang. They had comparable and incomparable. Bhava sankhara. What's the word you're looking for? Sambhava?
Sambhavang.
Originating, producing.
Okay. Something about arise. Sudamachulancha Sambhavang. Balanced and unbalanced arises. Things that arise. That's balanced and unbalanced. Avasankara. Mavasajjat. Avasankara.
Bhava sankharang.
Avasajjati. Avasajji.
Avasajji muni.
Avasaj. Okay. Working hard. Avasajjati. නිදහස් කර යවයි. හැරීම වෙන් කිරීම.
It's avasajjati from avasajja. Okay, from visajjani. Harimehi. Hari nidahas karyawa.
Freed, relinquishment. I guess that's the relinquishment part, right?
Yeah. Bhava sankhara avasajjane. These are verses that we don't often hear from Bana also.
Oh, really?
Because these are tough verses that monks don't. Even I wasn't familiar with it, so
In the grand scheme of things, how much of a percentage of Tripitaka do you think you have read? Whether you remember it or not, like maybe 50%, 60%?
I think it's 50%. And the remainder, I kept guessing, you know, in every way they say the same thing. It's like Ekamantan Nisidi, and that's a stock phrase, and Bhave Tabbang, Bahulika Tabbang, and that's a stock phrase. So it's a lot has crossed my mind. But I like the Pali parts like this, and translating and knowing them, you know, the way that other people have worked on them, but knowing them as we translate. So
Sorry. That I was like.
I used to think that I should take a break and read Tipitaka, but I realized, you know, having tried to do it, I
don't
do
think
it.
it's a fruitful exercise, right? I mean,
Yeah.
if there's so much repetition to begin with, what's the whole purpose of reading Tripitaka in the first place, right? I mean,
I
so
had occasions where I had to read some parts of it, so I focus on those, and that's my Tipitaka reading.
right. So I commend what Bhikkhu Bodhi is trying to do in a way. He wants to get rid of the repetitions and just maybe rearrange the Tripitaka. I mean, I don't know how whether people will let him do it.
He didn't rearrange, he removed so many that was repetitive and still had to keep some. So here Tulamatulan so it's Bhavasankara, that is Sambhavang, that is originating Tulamatulam. So
Avasankara Avasaj Avasankarang Avasaj. I don't know how to write relinquish.
Avasaji, right?
Avasaji. I'm sorry. Avasaji.
Yeah.
Sankarang Avasaji
Muni.
Okay, the person who relinquished. Ajat Rato. Ajat Rato.
Ajata meaning internally.
Rato?
Rato. There was one translation. So this is Ajat Rato, attached towards internally, not external stuff. You have to find Ratha separately. Ajat.
Oh, that's a different. Okay. Ajat. Ama Santanaya. Ama Pilibadade. Ajat. Okay, there you go.
Meaning internal.
Internal, okay. Selfness.
Because Ajja At Tamage Santane.
Ajat.
Not selflessness. It's actually telling that he's in samadhis all the time. Because it goes with samahito. Samahita meaning concentrated. But there was one word that Ananda Jyoti used. I think he said self-content or something, if you want to look at it.
Person concentrated here because of the O ending, like the one we did this morning.
It's Muni. Yeah. There is a word Muni, right?
Right.
Where yes. Before. So it's Muni. So it's in... it's the Muni who is doing that.
Right. Person. You wanted me to jump to here, I think.
Content himself. In himself, yeah. Ajat Ratu. It's a figurative translation. But it's not exactly that. How about Tanisaro?
This one is very wild, Bante. I don't know where this is going. Inwardly, joyfully.
Yeah, exactly. Inwardly
And,
joyful.
inwardly joyful. Is that one you like?
No, I didn't like it actually. I knew that it's how they translated it. So
Yeah, it's taking it to a new level.
if you look at rato in the dictionary,
Okay,
probably
let's
you
do
will,
that.
yeah, rata, R-A-T-A.
So many rata. Let me see by any chance
Maybe
there's
it's
a
coming
rato.
from rati.
It's a rato. But let's
Which,
just go with what you wanted to.
no, let's
Yes.
go with rato.
Only
Oh,
7 ratos.
upasami rato, attached to calmness.
I'm amazed. You already know the meaning. I'm like, what?
Fond of. See, fond of ajat, fond of internal stuff. So they
rato.
struggle too when they try to translate.
Ahare rato.
Yeah, attached to food, fond of food.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Appamada rato.
Attached to non-procrastination, meaning heedlessness.
Rato ka lo hoti.
So rato sukha silo hoti. Yo attano gaganang ghatteti para go gagani para go gani pana so rata. What is it? Puggala panyat. Go ganang. Okay, not gaganang. Yo attano goganang ghatteti. Parago gani pana so rato sukha silo hoti. So if you protect oneself, you are also. Why did they not translate it?
This is, I think, within another whatever something.
Yeah.
Providing context. We are looking at it. Rato. Loka. Oh, here's the rata.
Yeah.
Delighting.
Yeah, delighting attano.
Past participle of ramati. Wow.
Yeah.
So much for vehicle. Well, that rata is a T with a dot.
Yeah. THA.
Intent on, devoted to. Upasame. Maha Karuniko Satta Sabba Rata Loka Te Rato Punye Rata Manus. Interesting.
Hite rato. Parahita rato. Attached to others' benevolence.
Ratiya. Is Ratiya attachment?
Yeah, rati is attachment.
Okay. Where are we going with that?
Here's ajat rato. Attached to internal contentment. So you can say self-content.
Okay, in a person, right? Muni is self-contained.
Yeah. Very nice. Person who is self-content. Samahito, person who is concentrated. Or the Muni who is self-content.
Right.
Muni who is concentrated. Broke the armor of self-making. Kavachang. Armor Iva is like.
Iva Atthambhavam, right? So there's an
Atta
additional
Sambhavam. So Iva
Iva and I have
means
to
like.
advise.
Yeah. Atta Sambhavam. Atta itself. Sambhavam. Originating. So overall, I still didn't get Tulamatulancha Sambhavam. But I know it is referring to Bhava Sankara.
Sorry, I'm trying to make sure next time I look at it, I'm not going to get further confused. Like the way
I'm
you
glad
broke
you
it
have a
down.
next time that you look at it.
Well, there might be, who knows? Ideally, what I want to do is understand these things, not really reading it or near translation.
Yeah. Just
Maybe I'll read it later. Maybe, like you said, maybe I'll not look at it later. But still, translation-wise, I like the way how you broke it down. There's one big word, kavachang iva atta sambhavang. You broke it down, kavachang iva atta sambhavang.
like an armor that is self-originating. I mean, no, Atta Sambhavam, originating the self. Making a self. Yeah, it's best you put them together.
Tulamatulancha sambhavang.
What Tulamatulancha Sambhavang and Atta Sambhavang. You see, these two are connected, but again, it is Bhavasankaram Tulamatula Sambhavang. So that is Bhavasankara that he Tulamatulancha Sambhavang Bhavasankaram Avasaji. So there is the work done there. He relinquished Bhavasankara, that causes to arise Tulang Atulang, balance and imbalance.
Bhavasankara here is causes of origination.
Yeah, Bhava is existence.
No, existence. Okay.
Formations of existence.
So I guess Namarupa, Panchaskanda.
Everything, thoughts, any sankara, right? Kaya sankara, Vachi sankara, Mano sankara, any of these can lead to some existence somewhere, some bhava somewhere. Mental existence, physical existence. Because here it's Mara coming to the Buddha and telling something, to which the Buddha responds. Mara coming here also is indicative of, like you said earlier, is things to do with the world, remainder of the world. Its nature is to die and to be born again, but the nature of Buddhas and enlightened ones is to remain not being born, remain enlightened. If you read a little bit above the Gatha, see, Evang Utte Bhagava Marang Papi Mantang Etadavocha Apposuko Bhatvang Papi Mahohi. Na chirang tathagatassa parinibbānang bhavisyati. Ito tinnang māsānang acchayena tathagato parinibbhāyisyati iti. Atako bhagavā chāpāle chetiye sato sampajāno ayu sankharang ossajji. So at the Chetiya, at the Chapala Chetiya, he gave up ayu sanskara. Osatteja bhagava, having abandoned ayu sankhare, the ayu sankhara, maha bhumi chalo ahosi, there was a great earthquake. Bhinsanako lom hanso.
Maha Bhumi Kalo. Maha Bhumi Kalo. Sanko.
Hello.
Sankauna.
Yeah. Bhinsanako, that is frightening, and loma hanso, hair raising. Deva Dundubhyocha Palinsu. The heavenly drums also sounded.
What would that sound like? Thunder?
Yeah. I don't know. It doesn't sound like a good one.
No, I don't think so. I mean, if we believe the size of them, they're better, and who knows? I don't know. Interesting facts.
Well, who heard it? Only those who paid attention to it, because
Right.
normal human cognition is not able to capture these things.
I see. Interesting.
Thunder we can. That is frightening. The earthquake's frightening. That we know. But heavenly stuff, only those who pay attention to those things will know. What's the word? Apposukko Twang Bhavima Hohi.
Apposukko.
Alpotsahi? No, there was a word we translated before.
Today?
Alpa Utsuka, right? No. Yeah, can you go in there?
Apposukko.
Ending with A. Yeah, there. Alpa Utsuka, right? So
Not necessary to assume how is it the form of
careless, not bothering.
Keep
Still. This is like it's a Buddha telling, don't bother. I will die. I will pass away in 3 months. You know, it's just, but only Buddhas can do that. To say I will pass away in 3 months, because you can't live after 3 months anyway. So you have to pass away. There are sages, spiritual beings who have done that. But it's very, that's they always have to live with multitude of people, because everybody wants to know, everybody wants to become close to them. So they can predict the future. They have so many abilities. They kind of belong to everyone. So that kind of a person can tell that, on a certain day they will die. Like Sadhguru's wife said that, and she died. She was she was not even 50 at that time.
So what happened in the last 3 months? Did Buddha get really busy because he announced that he's going to pass away, and more people wanted to see him, hear him before he passed away?
He was walking towards, there's a story in Mahaparinibbana Sutra, the things he did in the last 3 months. He was walking towards where he passed away, and the journey that is recorded, like not that many people came, but people started coming because he was desiring seclusion. He was leaving people. He was leaving away from people. What is this? But this is Adobe Acrobat Pro DC. Oh, you have purchased it, right?
No, university gave it to me. This is the university laptop.
Not available for others, I think. I mean, it must be available unless you purchase it.
Oh yeah, it's quite expensive. How much? It is, but for the things I'm doing right now, I don't necessarily think you need the pro version. So the pro version gives you the options on the side. You see these ones, editing and all those stuff.
You can sign and stuff, right?
Right, but I think signing is also available even in the reader version, because you should be able to sign documents. I don't think you need pro version for signing, but to edit, for example, I can edit this PDF. I can change the words and all that stuff.
Really?
So see, I can, if I need, I can delete it.
Wow.
So it becomes very dangerous. So I can create my own version of a dictionary.
Wow. Adobe Acrobat Pro DC. Let me take a note on that. So.
Quite expensive software, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Adobe software in general is not the cheapest. I just got lucky. The university recently allowed, you know what, but through Harvard, you might be able to get it.
Now we are out from Harvard. We don't even have library IDs, library access online.
You still have the email, right?
We have the email, yeah.
Okay, I think that should be sufficient. You should be able to log into whatever the authentication.
It says access denied.
I see.
Yeah. Like,
I think it's an academic version. Academic license. It might be. So the problem is they even recently changed to online subscription model, which I think is even more expensive. It used to be that you can pay it one time, just keep it for life. Now you have to pay on a monthly basis.
yeah, it's not a lifetime thing anymore, right? Everything is coming like a
subscription basis. So yeah, I see it. I'm pretty sure I saw it recently for some reason. Pricing. It's super expensive. For subscription, annual prepaid.
Didn't change the price. Again, 14 a month.
$179. They go $180.
Oh.
$180. Very expensive.
Yeah.
But I think there's a cheaper alternative. So you probably noticed this because I'm using the university laptop, but on my other laptop, the other day I was using something called Ocular. Ocular, I think, has a Windows version. This is the version I typically use for my day-to-day work if I'm not on the Windows machine. That's the same capability. It's a free software. It's not as smooth as Acrobat, but for most part, it does the basically same exact thing. This is free. This is freely available. I think there's a Windows version as well. There's a Windows version. Good. Windows version.
Ocular.
Ocular, yes. Let's try Ocular Windows. That didn't help much. Windows.
OcularKDE.org.
So this is very useful. So if you look at a screenshot, this is what it looks like. This is what you saw me use last time I logged in with my other machine. So it's basically the same exact thing. You have the thumbnails. For most part, it's basically the same exact thing. The rendering is not as smooth as this one. So for example, when I comment on this version, if I make a comment,
they pop up nicely. If I, for example, add a comment, if I add a comment here, see the rendering is better. It's not as smooth as in Ocular, but it basically functions the same exact way.
This is why when I comment on your homework, the version of PDF I have sometimes miss, Do you work on a Word file? You may perhaps submit it also in Word.
I can do that.
I can go to review and comment.
Yeah, I can do that. I mean, I'm basically working on this Google document, but I can export it into whatever the format I like. I'm mostly exporting it to PDF so it doesn't lose any accents or any special characters, but I think we can work with Word documents. So I'll do that next time, so that way you can also modify.
It will open okay in my computer because I have the fonts.
Right. Yes. So I'll do that next time.
You can definitely submit both versions.
Sure. I'll do that. Not a big thing.
So, did we do enough today?
I can keep going, but if you have other things, or if this is sufficient, we can stop here too. I think that's okay with me as well.
I think it's enough.
Okay.
For the day.
Okay.
Just a little bit of reading.
Let me pull up the syllabus real quick.
Unless you want to go.
So next weekend is, according to syllabus, next weekend is a fully occupied weekend. But I'm trying to see if we can avoid Sundays, because I think you have so many commitments on Sundays, right?
This Sunday I will, but not next Sunday. So
okay. So if that's the case, I guess we can spend some time next weekend, Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
However, the way we want to do it.
Yeah.
And hours wise, it should balance out, because we accumulated about 1.5 hours today. Started at 12. So we're supposed to be doing Udana Pali. It says we are supposed to be doing Udana Pali, Declension of Bhagavata. So I'm guessing we might have to go to other suttas. We are just looking at one sutta right now, right?
Yeah.
So I can start looking into them if you feel like that would be something useful. But as far as the schedule is concerned, the next whole weekend is on Declension.
Yeah. Let's keep reading that.
Okay. Meaning the next sutta or the same sutta continuation?
It doesn't have to be the same sutta.
Okay.
Because there might be interesting things, in the same sutta or in other sutras.
Other suttas, right. Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right.
So it helps when I say the homework, so I can also read the sutra and gather as much information as I can. Except it didn't happen today because I was occupied with other things.
No, it's all right. I mean, I'm not helping much either, because I'm submitting these things the day before midnight.
That's okay too. But if you like this style of that we are doing, we are slow, but it soon seems like what I am doing is breaking the words with you and going to the dictionaries, and I also don't know certain words and meanings. If you can put up with it, I'm fine.
It's okay with me. It's perfectly fine with me.
Yeah. Because I kind of don't like to give the impression that I come unprepared for this.
I don't get that impression. I don't know how someone would get that impression.
No, I mean, just because sometimes, like, we randomly do things here. That's what I like, the freestyle.
So officially we only have 2 more weekends, I think. So the next weekend is one of our official weekends. So how out of that, what are these 4 sessions? We've covered 1 session now. today, because this is 3 hours of next weekend that I think we covered.
So
we can do a Saturday if you are up for it. We can do a full Saturday and a half Sunday, or half Saturday and a full Sunday, and that should cover up all the hours required for next weekend.
yeah, so when we come to, yeah, good. When we come closer to, that's great when we can do a day. Come closer.
I can also, I mean, if it's feasible with you, or if it's easy for you, I can also commit 1 weekday, so that way, again, completely depends on. So how is your thesis coming, by the way? I need to ask about it. Finishing?
Nothing being done. I'm supposed to send my professor some work done. It's I'm distracted with the temple's duties. So yeah, but I now that it's Saturday, so I have part of tomorrow to work on it beside the cell program happening. So
if your weekday is already occupied, what is going on during your weekday? I mean,
weekdays, there are things like evening programs, and we are working on the Fonseca Community Center, and sometimes people come to, we are selling the furniture there and actually giving them away for free. Some church pews, there are long chairs, and so sometimes things like that takes about 2 hours of my time spending there, and then lunch preparations and exercise. The day is gone. Going to the post office and things like that. I'm waiting for one quality day of at least one quality week of work without disturbance. But I'm okay. So keep on working and stopping at places, so then you are familiar, and I can easily pick up from where you have left off. We can do a weekday after Tuesday, but it's okay. Saturday afternoon seems good, and then whole Sunday for now. Yeah.
Okay, let's do that then. Saturday afternoon and whole Sunday. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's the case. I will see you September 12th around midday in my time.
Yeah, just the same time like today.
Okay. All right, Bante.
Take care.
Good night.
Good night.